Kirov reporting.
Hello comrades. Since the league starts in a few days, today we're going to talk about a cheap, strong, updated build. Slayer, Oro'S Sacrifice, Flicker Strike. Let me say right away, yes, for this build to work, we need to be at least level 67, before that we can't use Flicker Strike. Let's start with, what changed in 3.13. Slayer got huge buff, extra frenzy charge, in addition with free endurance charges and more crit. Also, we don't need to spend 2 ascendancy points to get to Brutal Fervor. This is a very serious buff for Slayer and potentially, with a good investment, this build could easily do all endgame content. Our main weapon will be Oro'S Sacrifice. Great DPS, Culling Strike, and of course Frenzy Charge generation. 5 base % chance of crits is also good for us, because with Ascendancy, Overwhelm, our base crits will go up to 8%. Also, 6 Link Oro'S Sacrifice is quite cheap, another good reason why this is good starter build. KM's Heart of course. Tons of HP and fire damage, perfect armor for us. Or we can use Bronze Live, another good cheap option. Of the unique helmets, we have 2 options. Star Konya Head, or Devoto's Devotion. Both options are very good for this build, and with the Flicker Strike enchantment, it's a great option even for endgame content. Tombfist or Oscarm, the best unique gloves for this build. In the future you can replace them with rare gloves with Frenzy Charge mod, or at Series Acuity. Dark Ray Vectors, Frenzy Charge and tons of dodge, perfect boots for this build. And with Penetrate enchantment, this item becomes a real BIS. The best starter belt for literally all melee builds is Belt of the Deceiver. HP, resists, and free Intimidate make this belt too overpowered. Or a rare belt with resists, HP, and elemental damage with attacks. Rare rings, with HP, resistance, and elemental damage with attack mods. Amulet is Fire and Presence, or Zoff Blood. But both of these amulets can cost quite a bit at the start of the league. So a good cheap option would be Carnage Heart, or Ngamahu Tiki. Another option I'd like to mention is the Ephigan, an amulet that gives a 100 chance to hit, against blinded enemies. We can blind our enemies with Aura, Flesh and Stone. In addition, we get 10% fire damage penetration, which is very strong for this build. Rare Jewels, with HP, and damage mods. Big Cluster Jewels. Medium. Our main skill is of course Flicker Strike. Since we'll always have Frenzy Charges, we don't need a second attacking skill in this build. Since with the Masterful form we will have a bunch of free endurance charges, we will use Enduring Cry to generate them. Anger, Hurl out of Ash, is our main auras. Also, Precision or Flesh and Stone if we wear the Ephigan. Since our attack speed won't be very high, the best movement skill for this build is Dash plus Second Wind. Also, on the bosses we should not forget about Totem and Wave of Conviction, to lower the resistances by 25%. Leveling we start with Molten Strike, it's the best skill if we don't want to completely respec our character later. Pantheon. Ascendancy. Kill all bandits. Final tree.